amazing friends. I'm so happy you all are here, and of course if you're new here, welcome. My name is Iani and I'm doing this DIY channel. Of course I am from the Netherlands, and of course my English is not always the greatest, but don't mind that. Of course I'm going to do my best to keep you step by step through this DIY and what we're going to make, because I already have down below my DIY supplies. I'm going to make a Christmas tree on top of a shutter, at least a kind of a shutter. We make it from, of course, tumbling tile blocks. If you like this content and you're not subscribed, I hope you will click the red subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. It would help my channel a lot to grow. Enough talking and let's jump into it. And you see already on my table, you see already the tumbling tile blocks. And of course I will use the larger blocks, but of course I also show you, I try to do, because a lot of questions I get from the smaller blocks and the bigger blocks. A lot of you can only find the smaller blocks, and I only can find the bigger blocks. So we are just comparison with each other, because here I have the bigger blocks more for hand and I have to order them online, the smaller blocks, and you can find the smaller blocks with the Dollar Tree or Dollarama or somewhere else, and don't have trouble finding the bigger ones. So I'm always try to tell myself that also to show you how many blocks you use for the bigger ones. So we need some paint, some twine, some glue sticks, some wood glue, our glue gun, some scissors, some little wire, and of course some brushes. And these are a little bit of the main pieces we need for this DIY. So the first step, what we're going to do, we're going to take 6 blocks of the larger blocks, and of course from the smaller blocks I measured out, it is 8. If you look this way, you see you have 8 blocks, and they have almost the same width than I have with my larger blocks. So 8 smaller blocks, and if you're using the bigger blocks, we are going to use 6, and I'm going to glue them together. Of course I only do some glue on 5 pieces, because the 6th one is the closure up. So this is number 3, number 4, and number 5. And I'm going to roll them together like this, and we are going to make a straight line, and we're going to squeeze them together. And again, make sure you get a nice straight line. And of course I did forget to tell you, always have a wet old towel at hand, because you can wipe away the glue you don't need. So a little bit over it, and that means that you always get a nice clean surface like this. Push it down and make sure, and that's the great thing about wood glue, you still can readjust it. And I'm going to lay it over here, clean this up, and we're going for the next row, and we're going for 4, 5 and 6 like this. And of course I don't do all of them together with you, don't worry. I'm just going to show you a couple of them. And a number 4 and a number 5. And again we're going to roll them together this way, make a straight line again and squeeze them together, press it down and make a nice straight line like this. And we're going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes before we're going to do the wet towel on top. Again 3, 4, 5 and a number 6. And this will be 1 and number 2 and number 3. And also I get questions about my wood glue, and this is a very brand Patex. Of course I know you see it backwards because that's just my telephone. It's called Patex, and it is a kind of wood glue, but you can get in any hardware store, you can get your glue, because that's you can buy anywhere. So this is just a brand. I don't know if you get the brand also outside of the Netherlands, I don't know. And again I have a straight line again, and I'm going to let this dry in also for a couple of minutes before I'm going to wet it out. And you see already I have 6 pieces of 6 blocks, and of course with the smaller blocks you need 8 like this, and you need also 8 blocks this way. So this is very easy. 8 over here, and you need 8 pieces of this one for the smaller blocks to get the same kind of shutter, door hanger. It doesn't matter how you call it. At least I'm going to go now glue the sides, and you're also going to do with the same one with you have your smaller blocks. And again, it doesn't matter if your blocks are a little bit uneven, especially because we want to look, have it look like an old door. And you see, just squeeze it and press it down like this. And we're going for the next row. And we're going to do some glue on the sides again. And sometimes your blocks are falling out of each other, but it doesn't matter because it sticks together anyway, because it dries overnight. And again, like this, and you get some openings over here. And I like it because it gives a little bit of the rustic look. But if you really don't like it and you like a smooth space, then you can do some speckle on top of here. But I don't do it because I like a little bit of the rustic style. So I'm going to do some glue on this side. And I'm going to place it down. And again, like this. And I'm going to try to get it as even as I can, this way. I'm going to do this one on the side. And so you also have, for the smaller blocks, the measurement for your shutter. And this is number 5. And we go for the last one, number 6. And then we're going to let it dry at least for half an hour at least. I think a little bit more. And I'm going to place this one down also like this. And I'm going to wait, like I said, a half hour. So I did let it dry in for at least a half hour. I'm going to take 2 blocks. I'm going to get them on the top side. And I'm going to glue them together like this. And I'm going to make a next one. Of course, also 2 on the top. And do some glue and glue them together this way. And then of course also let it dry in. So and now we're going to place both of them on the, I think not almost the ending, but a little bit higher like this. And this one is coming over here. For the smaller blocks you need for this piece, you need not totally 3. You see already, if you measure out, you need a little bit more than 2 and a half, but you have to get your hand saw and just saw out a little piece because they are not totally coming over each other with the same measurement. So I'm going to do some glue like this, and I'm going to place it over here, and I'm going to do here the same, and I'm going to let this dry again. Oh, you see already my wood glue is already falling down. And I'm going to press it down and wait, of course, a couple of minutes. In the meantime, while this is drying, of course, I'm going to place it a little bit above. I'm going to take 2 bigger blocks and I'm going to glue them also together. And of course, you can use 3 blocks for the smaller one, but I would say go for a little bit of this will be the feet of the Christmas tree. So I would go for 2 smaller blocks glued together like this. And I'm going to go for the bigger ones, but for the smaller ones I would go for 2. And I'm going to glue these 2 together and make sure that you have a nice straight line. And like this, squeeze it and press it down. I get my wet towel and wipe away the glue we don't need, like this. And I'm going to also let this dry. I know I say already, I hear myself saying every time again like this. I'm sorry. It's just a kind of a word for me when I am thinking and saying it in once, because I think Dutch and I have to say it in English, so don't mind that. So I'm going to let this dry also. You see already the shutter is dried, and of course you still can decorate it more. I am just going for only this side, but you can take some planks like this and you can make a cross inside. But my Christmas tree will be so big you don't even see it, and you can do it with some blocks. You have to saw them out, of course, because you have to measure them out and make a cross this way. You can only do one side this way. Just do whatever you think is right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a little bit of an old look, but I don't want the old look just to come completely in your face. So I want to have it under my paint. So I have two markers, the black one and the little bit of the creamy one, a creamy brown one. And I'm going to paint mine in the sand color. So if you like white better or black better, do whatever you think it's right. But I'm going to go for distressing for this too. But I'm going to look for which one I like the best. So I'm going to take just an example, just a block. And I'm going to get my marker. And I'm just going to go over it and just do a little bit kind of distressing. It doesn't matter how you do it. Just give a little bit of distressing so you can look for how it will look on your shutter this way. And I'm going to go now for the black one. The same, just take a block and just use it as an example like this. A little bit of black over here. How you can distress it. It doesn't matter how you do it. Everyone has his own way. So we're going to let this dry for a couple of minutes, so I'm sure that everything is dried in, and then I'm going to go over with the paint and look for which one I like the best. So I get a little bit of my sand colored paint and I'm going to go over the first block to give it to look for if it's coming through or not. And I think I like this very much. It is coming through, but not too much. I hope you can see it. It just gives a little bit kind of a shadow, and I like that because I don't want it to be in your face, the distressing. So we will see how the black is coming, and I'm going to go over it. And you see already the black, I have let it dry at least already for 10 minutes and still it is coming off the black marker. I really don't like that because I think it's much too much of your black. And of course, if you have it on this shutter, you will be sorry if you did place the black marker on here, because your piece will be destroyed, or you can paint it in totally over again. And so I'm going to go for the brown marker and I'm going to make some distressing on here, and then we're going to paint it. So I'm just going to go and get my mark, especially on the underside. I like to have it that it gives a little bit of an old look. So, and I'm going to do my planks in pieces, two here, and two here, to give it the idea of a kind of, yeah, that it really are planks. Just go over, and it looks now very strange that you think, what is this? But also with this one, with the tree, it still looks so much different later. So don't worry about it. Just do whatever you think is right, because it will look okay. The distressing is most of the time not something which can go wrong a lot, especially because, yeah, you use a lighter brown color. If you use the black, then you have to be a little bit more careful because it is a little bit harder to work with. And I'm going to go for this one to make kind of a planks over here. And I'm just going to do it this way. But if you have a better way, of course, do whatever you think it's right. I have to go for here and a little up. I will finish this off because I won't bore you with that. And then I'm going to paint it. And you see already my plank is looking on fire. Yes, some firing on top of here. I'm going to get my chalk paint and I'm going to go over it and just paint very nicely our plank. And then I hope everything disappears a little bit, so it doesn't just in your face. So I'm going to do the whole piece and then I'm going to show you, and of course I do it a little bit faster because I know your time is precious, so I'm going to do it a little bit more in a speed way. So you see in a moment how it turns out. Our shutter, our window, how you call it, is drying right now, and I think he turns already very nice. He's lightly coming through, and I think it looks a little bit like real wood, but I let you let you decide. And of course, I hope you have the same outcome as I have over here with your markers. If you don't want to do it with a marker, it's totally fine too. This is just an experiment. Of course, I still have my blocks with the two pieces on the glue together, which will be the stem. And I'm going to take a little bit of the brown chalk paint, and I'm going to do it very easy, very lightly in the chalk paint. So of course, I'm just going to get some paint out and like this, and I'm just going to go lightly over it because I don't want it too heavy. And that's the great thing about chalk paint. It's not a heavy paint. You still can give it another layer, or you can leave it this way. I always like that. So I'm going to paint this one also, and then we're going to go further with our Christmas tree. And here you see our shutter is already dried up, and I'm really happy with the result. And our little piece of our stem of our Christmas tree, I'm going to get my wood glue and I'm going to glue it on the bottom. But of course, you can use any glue you like. I like this one because it stains, it gives a very sturdy feeling. So that's why I always use my wood glue. And I'm going to place it on here and just squeeze it and press it down and let this dry in for half an hour. And before we go further in this DIY, I have to tell you that this video is also part of a beautiful get-together, which is called What Would You Make? This get-together is hosted by the beautiful Zana from OK at Home DIY and the beautiful Connie from Connie Woodshop and DIYs. Of course, for this month, their guest host is JC from Crafting with JC. Of course, I will place the links down below for the ladies, their beautiful channel, so go check it out. And of course, I will place a link down below with the playlist with tons and tons some beautiful wood DIYs for you to make, so go check it out, you won't be sorry. Of course, right now we go further in the DIY. You see already I turned over my placemat and my shutter. What we're going to do, I'm going to try to make from a kind of tassel idea. I'm going to make layers for my Christmas tree, but you will see in a moment what I mean. I'm going to use for the first layer, we're going to start under it. I'm going to use a little cork from IKEA. I'm going to get my twine and I'm going to do it very easy. I'm going to lay this aside and I'm just going to get it this way and I'm just going to turn it over at least I think maybe 30 times. I want to have a really big piece, so I'm going to take my time for it. So, and then I hope I really get it off my cork. But you see, I want to have a real thick one because it's the under layer. And of course, it takes a lot of your twine, but later you will be very happy that you did it. But at least I hope you did. You do. Because I like this, and I'm going to try to get it off my cork. Of course, it is a little bit of a task. He is coming, but he's not, it's not going easy like I hoped that it would. Like this. And I have him, and I keep it wide. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a nice thing. I'm going to get the middle, and I'm going to get my twine, the piece you see here, you have this piece for your piece of twine. Here's my little roll, and I'm going to do in the middle, I'm going to make a couple of turns like this. And then I have to look if I have really in the middle, you see, just a couple of turns in the middle. do your glue gun on, and of course we cut it off and we're going to give it a little glue and glue it together like this. You see we have an opening over here, and now I'm going to do some glue on here. Of course I should have done my glue gun already on, but I didn't. Oh, he's already coming like this, and I'm going to lay in my twine, and I wait until it is dried up because we don't want that it's coming loose. Now we are going to work our way like this in the middle exactly, and I'm going to cut it open. And this is a little bit of a task because I have a smaller scissor, but if you have, I hope you have a bigger one that I have. So, and I'm going to cut off all the sides like this, and again another one. This is one, and now I'm going to go for the other one. Of course take your time for it, and I hope your scissor goes better through it than mine does. It's always when I am DIYing, everything is going wrong always when I want to show it to you. And again, here's two. Look very nicely if you have all the pieces like this. I have to look here, still another one, because we want to have all of the pieces open. And this one, and I have to look of course also on this side if everything is open like this. And I'm going to work my way a little bit with it, and it is one big mess, you see already, because with twine always coming a lot of hairs coming out. You see this is already coming off my first piece. So, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my little blank, and I'm going to do some glue over here just under it, just fill it up, because you can use a little of the glue, so don't be too shy. Just glue a lot of them over here, then squeeze it real hard into your stamp, and of course the opening, because it's really has to close in. I show it to you in a minute, but I have to wait until it's dried up, or else everything is coming loose. And this is an experiment. I never made this one, so bear with me if it doesn't it doesn't look to anything. So again, so, and now we're going to give it a nice little fluff, but later on we will make it better and better. But we're going to go, you see I have it squeezed on the underside here very hard inside of the stamp of the tree, because he has to close in very well. So this is already number one. I'm going to make a second one, the same also from this one. Of course I have to turn it around, and I'm going to do it over and over again and again. Just do maybe 30, I think at least 30 times to give a nice full look. At least when you see already he's already working against me, because I want to show it to you as fast as I can. And again, I'm going to try to get it off my board. And of course, always when my camera is running, this is happening. But you don't have to worry about that, because you don't have that problem. I already made the mistakes for you. And again, we have it open, still open like this. And I'm going to just make a nice straight line again and work it. And we have here still our piece of rope. Go again in the middle, make very strong turns, a couple of them, not too much, and then go look if you have it in the middle, or maybe you have to work a little bit with it. So look for it. I'm going to cut it off again, and I'm going to do some glue. Wait and let it fall in, and of course be careful, don't burn yourself. I don't feel a lot because my fingers are numb, but you will feel it, so be careful. And I'm going to squeeze it tight, lay this one aside. Now I have my fingers off and again we're going to do the same procedure. And I'm going to do this one together, and then we go one step smaller after this one. And again, and there are a lot of, I don't know, even maybe I have to count them for you, because I don't know even how much turns I already did. If you have a moment, I will count them for you, but I won't do that on camera, because or else you think, oh no. Yes, I'm back, and I did count them, and they are exactly 30 turns, so I did count right. But if you want to have it a little bit more, then go ahead and just fill it up with maybe 40 or 50, it doesn't matter. And I use the neutral color, but of course you can use any color of your twine. And of course you also can use some maybe organza, or maybe some netting, I think, how you call it, organza, or oh, there's a name for it. I know it slipped my mind, but in a moment I will know it, how it's called. So then I tell you. Then you even can use that fabric, and then you also get a totally different one. And later on, of course, we will cut our tree on the size we want to have it. So again, make sure that you don't have your whole house under your twine. So again, work it away like this. So, and again, we are going to get our shutter, and we're going to do some glue. Of course, again, over here, just let it fall down, and you use enough because it has to glue. And I'm going to lay it in the same length like I did with the other one. So you get the turns on here on the same length. Of course, I have not to glue myself. And again, squeeze it and press it down until it is dried up. And we also get in the middle a nice straight line. And again, we can still work everything together. And he gets the thing. And now we're going to try to get it more to a point. So I'm going to go for a size smaller loopings. I think I'm going to go for this one. This is an old frame for a sign, and I'm just going to use this one. This one will be a little bit smaller. So again, we just get our twine, and we're just going to go over and over and over again, especially also maybe 30 times again, like this. And I have twine which is very cheap, because this kind of, I think this one is almost, I think, €1. It's a little bit similar like dollar. So I think also the Dollar Tree or somewhere else, they also have very cheap brand of twine, because you don't want to use very expensive ones. And again, I'm going to cut it out, and we're going to, this one goes easier than the other one. And again, make a couple of the turns in the middle like this, and not too much, and look for if you have it really in the middle. Yes, I think I have it quite in the middle, and we're going to go over it. And I have to get a little bit of the glue, and I'm going to lay it in between my twine, just very carefully. And I am going to squeeze it down like this. And again, it's very easy. We are going to cut it open again, the same like we did earlier. And I take my time for it, but of course I won't bore you with that. So I opened up all the endings also from this one, and I'm going to get my blank again, and I'm going to get, of course, some glue, and I'm going to squeeze it also, this one, the smaller one, and again do some glue over here. And we're going to make sure that we have it also closed in on this one. Squeeze it and press it down. And I'm going to make again a smaller one like this one. And again, squeeze and press until it is dried up. Oh, you see here I have one which is not open yet. And I think you will find every time and time again another one which is not open yet. So I'm going to make this one. So I have now the second one, which is a little bit smaller, and I'm going to glue this also in the middle like this. Again, throw away, do some glue on the little board, place it down, and make sure that you place your glue, your twine, also on the bottom. That looks always a little bit nicer than that you have glue on top. And again, squeeze it and press it down. And we have now 2 of each string, 2 of the cork white, 2 of the little sign white. Of course, you can get anything in your house which is going from size smaller. So it doesn't matter what you use, just use whatever you have laying around. And now we are going to go again. This is how it's looking so far. And it looks now like, and then maybe like something you do your floor with. But don't worry, in a moment it will look better and better. I'm going to go now for a size smaller. I have to look for what I will use for the size smaller too. For the next 2 turns, I'm going to use my hand. So very easy, take it in your hand and just do, you already do the couple of turns in your hand. Like I said, I'm going to do 30, but you can do anything now. Like 3, 4, I don't know what it is. I never have this, but it just keeps falling off. So I'm going to go. So now I have already a couple of them. And I'm going to do the same. This one is really a little smaller than the other one. Again, in the middle, squeeze and press your twine around it. And look if you have it really in the middle. I think I am quite in the middle. And of course, I'm going to cut out my glue. My wood glue gun is still going out on me. I don't know why he's doing that, but he doesn't like it anymore. He thinks it's more than enough for today, but he's not finished yet. So I'm going to do some glue. And again, lay your piece of twine inside and squeeze it and press it down. And also we are going to open up this one too. So I made already 2 on my hand, 2 we need. So we need our little shutter, and we're going to place this one also. Again, we are going to place it closely to the other one, just the same like we did earlier, like this. And I'm going to get my glue side over here, and I'm going to squeeze it in here. And again, wait until this one is also dried up, and I'm going to look for, here is the glue side from this one, and I'm going to glue again another like this on the board. And then I'm going to look how much I still need for my tree, because you can decide any way you like and how big you want to have it, of course. And I think he looks already very nice. I never made this before, so I don't know how this will turn out. Like this. So you see already he's coming more and more to a point. And now I'm going to look for 2 pieces, I think, which are even smaller than my hands. So I needed something smaller than my hands. And I was thinking, I still have those blocks which I used as a test block. I still have them. I think maybe if I glue them together, they can use as my piece, which is smaller than my fingers. And you see already they are smaller. So I'm going to go for 2 pieces of this one. Very easy. And just again, do a couple of turns like this. And how easy is it just to make your own? And now it's still coming at use. Now I don't have to throw it away by nothing. So again, and I make my little piece of twine because he's already almost done. So you see, this is already the ending. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to get it off because it's getting harder and harder to get, of course, the smaller piece and the middle piece. So I'm going to try to get it as tight as I can. It costs a little bit of your muscles. I'm going to cut off a little piece and I'm going to glue it on top of each other. And again, lay your piece of twine inside. And again, wait until it is dried up. And even the opening will be very hard because it's smaller and smaller. So just take your time. I'm trying to do it as fast as I can, but take your time for it. I make the mistakes and you can make it in one flawless tree, because I still have to make the mistakes. And like this, this is the middle, and now I'm going to cut it open, but I will do it out of camera. So I did cut open the smaller one, and I also made a second one also with the smaller blocks, and I did cut one side open, but the other side I left closed. So be careful. If you want to make the same one, then one side you cut open, one side you leave closed. What I'm going to do, I'm going to clean up my space, then you can see it a little bit better. Now I get my shutter again and I'm going to glue, of course, first the one I did cut open in totally, like this. So we are going to find his glue side, and this is over here. So I'm going to glue this one on here. And again, like this. Place it down and squeeze real hard on this way. And now we're going to get the one which is closed on one side. And you see, I still need to cut off a little piece, but I don't know if I need to. I will see. I will place this over here. It will be kind of a tree topper. You have to, I am going to open it up on one side. You see this, one to this side, one to this side, a little bit halfway. And I'm going to try just to glue it over here, just to get a little layover over your tree. I hope that makes sense what I say. So I'm going to do some glue over here, on here, and I'm going to, like I said, spread it out, and I'm going to lay it in between, and then make sure that I hold it in place for a little moment. Of course, I have to get away of the glue, which we don't need. And it's kind of a tree topper. This, yeah, I think, yeah, that's the way you can call it the best. But you can make your own tree topper. You can do anything you like. So, and I'm going to work away to make it a little bit open. And we have to work away with this one. So everything will come in place like this. And I will turn it over. Maybe you can see it a little bit better like this. And I'm going to work a little bit with all the pieces of the twine to make it look a little bit nicer. And then we're going to do something on the top. So this is how he is turning out for me. Of course, now I'm going to give it some decoration. And decoration you can do all the way you like. I have here some wooden beads. You can very easily do your twine inside of here and make little balls over your whole tree, because it's so easy. You have your twine already and just do some glue inside and just squeeze them on. And you already have your own little balls. Of course, you also can use some Christmas bulbs, the little smaller ones, for the Christmas trees you also use in your home. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a block, a tumbling tile block. I'm going to paint it in the black color, and I'm going to give it some letters, some Scrabble letters, But of course you can use some sticker letters, some other letters, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you think it's right. And I'm going to give a little bow on top of here of our tray. So I'm going to use the black chalkboard paint, and of course it's also called schoolboard paint. It gives a nice matte finish and I like that. And I'm going to do, of course we don't have to do the back side because we are going to glue it on top. And then we're going to place in a moment the letters on top of our block. So my little black block is dried and I'm going to use the word joy, but of course you can use any word you like. I like of course a little bit shorter, and I'm going to give it a little space in between so you can also see the black coming through. You see already I don't even have, if you look already, I'm trying to glue without the glue stick. That doesn't work, I can tell you, that doesn't work. And yes, it glues better with the glue stick inside of it. You see, I did, like I said, the word joy. I know you see it backwards, don't worry, that's just my telephone. You see it later in the right way. If you want to have it a little bit longer, for longer words, then you have to paint, of course, 2 blocks in the black color. Then you have a little bit more space to write your word. So I'm going to do some wood glue on the back side because I like that it stays in place, and this one, and then I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to place it over here like this, and I'm going to have to look that I have it in the right way, and I'm going to place it over here, not totally to the top but a little bit under it, and I'll keep it in place for a couple of seconds, squeeze it, and we're going to let this dry for a half hour. In the meantime, while our little sign is drying, I'm going to get my velvet ribbon, and it's the smaller one because I will finish my tree off with a little bow. What I'm going to do, I'm going to double it up because this one side is velvet, the other one is not velvet, so I don't like that. So I'm going to double it up and I'm going to make a simple bow just the way you tie your shoe. So don't make it too hard on yourself. At least if you're a great bow maker, then go ahead, make a nice bow. But I always love a very simple bow. So I'm going to go for this one. Very easy. Of course, I say very easy, but it is already a task to get this through. So like this. And now I have, of course, and this one I have on both sides. I have my velvet, and on this side, of course, I have to get it a little bit shorter, and I'm going to cut it off. This one we're going to cut open, and this one we're going to cut off. And now I'm going to make only some little fishtails on here, but that's very simple. Just open it up, double it up, and just do a little cut sideways. Then you already have your own little fishtail. And I will do it with all 4 of them. So very easy, but I won't bore you with that. So now we have our bow, and I'm going to get my glue of my glue gun, and I'm just going to do some glue on the back side, and I'm going to do a little twist over here, over here, and I'm going to place it in the middle of the lining over here. I'm going to squeeze it and press it down and keep it in place for a little moment, like this. And I'm very happy how this one is looking like. I'm going to adjust everything, and in a moment you see a quick impression. And here you see already a quick impression of our Tumbling Tower Blocks Shutter Christmas tree, and I'm so happy how it turned out. Especially I love the neutral tones, but if you want to go all the way, go ahead. I hope you took your Tumbling Tower Blocks out also and did this DIY together with me, and you right now also have your own cute little shutter with your own Christmas tree on top. It was an experiment, but I had so much fun making it. Of course, if you're only here to watch, I hope you had fun watching. And if you like this content, of course, I hope you will click the subscribe button. For now, if you want to see more DIYs, come on over to my description box. There you find the link for our DIY channels. Go check it out. And for now, I wish you all an amazing day and I hope to see you next time. Bye.